Hi everybody, Amber here. Welcome to today's episode of Baking with Demons. Today we're going to be making Demon Spent the Night in My Goddamn Laundry Room Pie. Let's get started. So in case you haven't figured it out, this is the kind of pie you would make if you met a man who was sick, you took him home, let him convalesce in your laundry room overnight, and when you woke up the next morning you realized he was hellspawn. It happens more often than you think. So, when this happens, you're going to need a pie like this. We're actually going to use 2 shots of bourbon for this pie. And the first shot of bourbon, we're going to drink. So if you don't drink bourbon, you should start because you would need it in this circumstance. Woo! All right, so we're going to take our apples. Gala apples. We're going to add our sugar and our spices, our sugar and our flour. Okay, and we're going to mix this up really well. I'm just going to go ahead and use my hands. You can use a wooden spoon, whatever. Okay, so after your apples have the nice sugar all over them, we're going to put the spices in there. Mix those apples up. Now we're going to dump all of these apples into our homemade pie crust. You'll notice that my crust is not trimmed, so we're going to leave it a little bit oversized around the edges. And we're going to take these apples and we're going to pour them in here. Okay, once they're all packed in there, good and tight, we're going to add our butter and just sort of dot the top of it with butter, and the butter will seep down in there as the pie bakes. All right, next thing we're going to do is we are going to, hands are disgusting. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to add a little bit of cream, and this is what's actually going to make the caramel. So you don't need a whole lot. Just sort of drizzle that around and on top. It's going to be really, really good. Okay, I'm not going to worry too much about measurements. Now, the last thing, kind of the key ingredient right now, is your second shot of bourbon. So the reason we're adding this is not only is it going to taste good, the alcohol will actually bake off, leaving a flavor behind. But the main reason is so when you tell your friends about your experiences with the demon, they're going to be like, girl, that did not happen. And you're going to be like, yes, it did. And they're going to be like, okay. And they're not going to believe you. I mean, because it's kind of a far-fetched story. So what you're going to have to do is give them a slice of this pie. And when they taste it, they're going to be like, damn, she put liquor in the pie. Maybe the devil really did spend the night in her living room. So you'll have some street cred or some like believable cred with your friends when they taste the bourbon in the pie. So go ahead and put the bourbon in there. Be generous. You definitely want people to believe your story. Okay, so after you've done all this, you had a demon spend the night in your house, your friends don't believe you, you're turning into kind of an alcoholic, you're definitely not going to feel like making a second pie crust for the top because who the hell has time for that? So that's why we left the edges hanging over a little bit. So we're just going to fold these edges over. This is a cheater crust, which is exactly what you want when you're drunk, stressed out because the demon was in your house, and you just need a good refreshment. Okay, there we go. If you really want to make it, beautiful and impress your friends, you can brush some egg white on the crust before we throw it in the oven, but we're drinking, who cares? So I've just taken the pie out of the oven, and it sure does look beautiful. I baked it at 450 degrees for about 15 minutes. Then I reduced the temperature to about 350 degrees and baked for another 45 minutes. And as you can see, it is absolutely gorgeous. I did pour a little bit of caramel sauce on top just to give it a little extra kick and make it a little bit pretty, but it's perfect just the way it is out of the oven. So you can share it with your friends, and any curious hungry demons that might show up at your house looking for something to nom on. This is the pie for them. Hope you guys had a good time. Hope you learned a lot, and see you next time.